Did you notice that the audience changes in the two parts of the gospel that we just heard? Initially, now, Jesus is teaching in the temple. This is a risk right away. He's right there in Jerusalem. He already knows they're out to get him, but he boldly goes into the temple. And in the section just before tonight's section, Jesus actually enters into a kind of rabbinic riddle, raises a question that he knows the scribes aren't going to be able to answer easily. And the people love it, Mark tells us. They rejoice at that. Jesus doesn't solve the riddle himself. He just leaves it with the scribes. And then, in the section that begins tonight's gospel passage, he really lays into the scribes, accusing them of what we later call clericalism. You people, because you are religious leaders, because you have a certain better knowledge of the Torah, you make yourselves out to be better than everyone else, you want everyone else to give deference to you, and more than that, you end up hurting some of the most defenseless people by the things that you do. All of that, of course, still raises questions in our mind today about the reality of clericalism in the church and the ways in which we still need to stand firmly against it, and the ways in which we are embarrassed by the ways in which it has caused so much hurt to defenseless people. But then, Jesus is still there in the temple. He's noticing people coming up and putting in their donations. He's noticing the rich giving a lot. He's noticing then this one poor widow putting in just 2 coins. He could have, at that point, once again, spoken loudly and strongly, but he doesn't. He goes over to the side. He just calls his disciples to him and speaks with them very quietly about what's going on. Why does he do that? I think the one obvious reason is that he doesn't want to embarrass this woman. But I think there may be a deeper reason even than that. He's just talking to his apostles about this because he realizes that this is a question that does not have easy answers. He's not asking everyone to give up everything to follow him. He has asked some people of that. Just 2 weeks ago, we heard him ask the rich young man, "Sell all your goods, give them to the poor, and come follow me." But he's not saying that everyone has to do that. And so he's simply speaking to his apostles, taking them on the side to raise the issue with them, because it's an issue that needs to be understood more carefully. So what actually is he saying then to all of us? To some, yes, he is called to live a life committed to the vow of poverty. Some of our Dominican sisters who take that vow are here with us this evening. And we thank them for accepting that challenge. But for the rest of us, I suspect what Jesus is saying when he talks about how the rich people go up and give out of their surplus, the widow has given out of her own need. I would suggest that what he's saying to us is that at times it's supposed to hurt a bit to give for the sake of others, to give for the sake of bringing about the kingdom of God, to give to the needs of the church, to give to the needs of other important groups. He's not saying we have to give away everything, but he's also saying it's not really enough simply to satisfy all of our other needs first, and then if we have something left over, well, okay, we can give that to charitable causes. He's saying it's supposed to challenge us more than that. It's supposed to challenge us to the point where it hurts a bit to be able to reach out to the needs of others. Because that is one way in which we carry the cross with him. One way in which we truly make a sacrifice of ourselves as we join in his sacrifice here at his table tonight. Well, that's the end of my homily. But I need to talk with you a little bit longer because by an interesting coincidence, a few weeks ago, before any one of us, including myself, knew that this was going to be tonight's gospel, our finance council decided that this would be a good weekend for us, in the sake of transparency, to publish a summary of our financial situation for the past year. And you will find that in the bulletin. I'm not going to go through the whole thing with you. I would invite you in the bulletin or on the website to read through it. This Wednesday, in the Monsignor Cass Center, we will have an open meeting of the Finance Council. Notice one thing. I write about this in Thoughts from the Tower. I made a mistake. I said it was on Thursday. I was like, yes, they gave the wrong date so that people wouldn't show up. The actual announcement of the bulletin says Wednesday, and that's when it's going to be. An opportunity for parishioners, having had the chance now to read through the finance report, to talk about it, to raise questions, to make suggestions. Two other things I would say about that, though, tonight. One is, in that report, we are able to say that we have actually lowered our expenses from last year. This, once again, is because of the incredible gift of stewardship of time and talent of so many of our parishioners who do so much of the work, the ministry, and the practical work themselves. And I know all of us are grateful to all of you for doing that. But the other thing that I need to say is that this past year, we received a very significant donation. Actually, the person who gave that is sitting here tonight, and I'm going to look in that direction. And we also received a super significant bequest. It's because of that donation and that bequest that we end up in the black this year. I have to say, our regular donations, particularly the special donations, our Sunday donations have pretty much stayed the same, but the special one of the Christmas, the Easter, the summer, they really dropped this year. We would have ended up in the red were it not for that special donation and the special request. I just wanted to mention that, so that when you look at the report and you see everything coming out in the black, you don't end up being tempted to say, well, they're doing fine. I can give my donations somewhere else or cut back on them. Sorry, I'm not able to say that. And next year, we can't assume that anyone is going to be able to be in a position of giving a significant donation again. And we're not looking forward to one of our parishioners to die in order to leave us a very significant bequest again. We need to ourselves take the initiative, take the ways of discovering ways in which we can have the parish come out in the black again this year. And so we come now to the Lord's table, coming back to the point of the homily, where Jesus is saying to us, I invite you, some of you, young people, perhaps to consider religious life, to consider making that vow of poverty. But to all, Jesus says, I invite you to be willing to give of yourselves, even to the point where it hurts a bit, so that you can carry your cross